Well, we're really fortunate today to have with us Sven Grave, who is the head of innovation at a German company called Wilo. You may never have heard of Velo, but trust me, if you've got air conditioning, central heating, or that kind of thing, there's a fairly good chance one of their pumps might be in there somewhere. It's a great example of what you might call a hidden champion. But at the heart of Velo is a long track record going over, I believe, close to 150 years of innovation. Sven, many thanks for spending a little time with us. Perhaps could you just begin, since I've done a very bad thumbnail sketch, just tell us a tiny bit about Velo as a company?
Sure. So thanks, John, for having me here and giving the opportunity to share the innovation story of Velo. So Velo is a German-based company producing pumps in all sizes. So starting from very, very small ones you will probably find in your heater system at home until very, very big ones that pump the water through the different pipes in towns and cities. So we basically take care about pumping water to houses, distributing water inside the house, and then pumping it back, and also taking care about drainage and sewage. That's what we do.
That's great. And my guess is that in order to survive and develop the way the company has done, you've had to change things. Innovation's got to be in that DNA somewhere. Could you talk a little about the role that innovation plays in the company?
So we are a family-owned company, and our old man always says innovation and sustainability is in our DNA. It's at the core of the company. What he means with that is that we've evolved from a very local Dortmund-based little manufacturing company into a global player who's serving millions of people around the world. And we can only do that on the basis of innovation. That means innovation in our products, but also in our processes and how we work together. So we were among the first to have energy efficient pumps available in mass scale products. So why is that a thing? Because pumps are among the most energy consumptive products on the globe. Right? So every energy saved in a pump is worth every R&D and innovation work. Right? Now we've optimized each product to the maximum. So now, in order to gain more efficiency, we take a look at systems and how we can cleverly connect those products. And this is where a new field of innovation comes for us, which are connected products. How can we use the cloud technologies, the internet, and AI? So you see, we've come along from being a local manufacturer to the transfer of being a digital pioneer. And that is a long innovation story lasting roughly 150 years.
Wow. And maybe we could then focus a little on your role. Great title, Head of Innovation. I'm presuming that it isn't a case of you have the head for innovation, all these wonderful things come from you. I'm sure it's not that. Could you talk a little bit about how you enable innovation to happen inside Velo?
Yeah. So when you're a company on size of Wilo, there's a certain likelihood that innovation is maybe not anymore the top priority there, because there are new market changes. The question is always, do I go for product improvement, a slight one, or do I go for the big one, for the innovation? And so my job there is to outline new potentials where we could go and to encourage people to take the great steps in innovation. I'm like the one who's knocking on the head to ask, okay, what is the innovation? What is new in this product? How can we surprise our customers? How can we make the life with our customers more easy? And I'm always the one peeling there and so on, asking those questions. And often the answer comes, well, I don't know. What do you think? You're working in innovation. I said, well, maybe take a look at this trend. Take a look at this new technology. Is this something that could help us or our company in their daily duty? And to get those little inspirations into the heads of our colleagues, we constantly supply them with these in different formats. So we use emailing, where we send out our trend reports with latest technologies inside. We organize meetings across different functions and across different locations and continents to get people together, to enhance the chance of unlikely meetings or talks where the people talks to just talk about topic and then come up with a new idea or for whatever. So that is basically our job.
Wow. So it's certainly stimulating, catalyzing, but I guess one of the things that's always impressed me about Wilo and the work you've been doing is this is not about a small specialist team of genius people. They may be there, but this is about a lot of people across an organization which has, I think, 7,000 employees now.
Exactly.
So I guess my question is, how can you draw them into the innovation story?
Yeah, you're completely right. It's not one specialized team we have in hand that focuses on innovation. The thing is, today a pump is a very complex product. There are more than 30 different disciplines involved in just engineering one pump. And what we do is we orchestrate them and we want to get them together. So a colleague talking from the motors might have seen a cool idea of a new material at another company's motor development. The question then is, how does he get his idea to our people working on new materials? And then we will offer them a platform. It's an internal platform where they can post those ideas and share them all across Wilo. And the other people see them, read them, work on them, develop them further, comment on them, and use this one point as a starting point for innovation. And we came to that because we thought, like, we have so many people here, or we're not the biggest player in pump business, but let us be the most efficient one and the most innovative. And we can only realize that when we cleverly connect all those experts across those 30 disciplines. And there we have this one online place, which is called our Wings platform, where those people can meet and discuss their latest ideas. That works quite well. So saying 7,000 people worldwide, we've got 1,500 people each month visiting the platform.
Wow.
And roughly about 2 ideas submitted per day. So this is just this benchmark.
That's pretty impressive, and it certainly seems to work. Perhaps I could give you a bouquet, a virtual bouquet here, because you told me just before we started this interview that last year Wilo won the German Sustainability Award, which is no mean achievement. Can you tell us a little bit about the story of how you then built that into a major campaign for innovation around sustainability?
Sure. So in 2019, Wilo won the German Sustainability Award. And the thing is, with winning an award or reaching a goal, is how do you get on with that? What is the next step? Is it the end of a journey? Or is it the start of something really big, really new? And I approached my management board with that and said, I would take this as a starting point. So what we did is we ran the Wilo Sustainability Challenge throughout May 2021. Each day in May, we had a session from 9 to 10 in the mornings where we had external experts coming and talking about what they do in sustainability in their businesses, from all different companies, showing how they do recycling models, how they do service on demand models, to really outline how you can, what the business around sustainability is. We had startups there, social startups and social entrepreneurs who do it for the good of the thing, because they believe in what they do. We've had internal sessions where we showed the latest trends in sustainability and how these relate to our sustainability strategy. And this was all accompanied by a campaign we ran on our internal innovation platform where the people could submit ideas. And it was in the end, it turned out it was the best campaign we've ever ran. We received a none before seen number of submissions from all around the globe. People from all around the globe joined into this global Wilo internal movement of how Wilo can become more sustainable. So this was a huge and big starting point. And what we see from there on is not that the topic is then gone. No, it's now internalized by our colleagues. Mm-hmm. They themselves bring it into development and technology projects. They themselves look for opportunities of how they personally can improve their sustainability and impact. And that was for me, this was one of the best things we've ever realized inside Wilo.
It's a great example, and I think it also reminds me, we often talk about an innovation culture, and my definition of a culture is it's the way we do things around here. It's the natural way in which we behave. What you're describing there is not accidental. You've been building on years of experience, but when it gets to the point where it's internalized, when it's the way we do things around here, that's pretty impressive. But then it makes me ask a question. It sounds so easy. There must have been challenges on the road to getting here, establishing this culture, this way of thinking, working with platforms, engaging different people. Could you tell us a little about the challenges in building an innovation culture?
Yes, sure. And you're completely right that something like that does not happen by accident. I'm honest, it took us 8 years to get there. And it's a lot about trust. 8 years ago, we started with this high involvement innovation where everybody at Wilo is invited to actively participate in innovation. But we took it stepwise and in small steps and involved more and more people to familiarize the people with how this works, but also giving us some experience of how can we engage people. What are the triggers we can use that makes them curious and that makes them want to participate? Right? Because I know now how innovation works at Wilo and how to engage people at Wilo. But it's in the culture of Wilo. In other companies, this may be completely different. Right? So taking what I did at Wilo and implemented the same way into another company may not work. So you have to build it and get a feeling for that, how to handle your colleagues, how to engage your colleagues, where are they interested in, and where do you have to put more effort to engage them. And you have to know how to talk to your management, to your stakeholders, because it's a lot of trust for their side as well. So when I went to the board to say, I want to do this innovation challenge, they of course asked me, Sven, what will we see there? Is it just no-brainers and low-hanging ideas? I said, no guys, trust me, there will be some cool innovation potentials there. But it took me some time to develop this trust in my innovation community. And at the same, it took the board some time to develop the trust into me that I will deliver high quality results. And I think that is the way to go. It is a step-by-step thing, building on trust from your innovation community and from your management and on experience on how your community and your innovation culture works.
Wow, that's really interesting, and that step-by-step construction, I think it moves us a long way from the single magic solution that you might read about in a magazine or see at a conference. There's more to it than that, and it's building that firm foundation.
Yeah, you're completely right. And I have my problems with this one light bulb innovation today. That maybe there may be businesses where this still happens, all fine. But whenever we come to an established companies with processes and budgets and people allocation, this won't work anymore because there are so many stakeholders involved. As I said, just for a pump, we have more than 30 different disciplines, and you have to orchestrate them and manage these. So whenever one has a good idea, you have to make sure that this idea is heard. Whether it's really a good idea or it's just a good idea from this one perspective and 29 perspectives say that wouldn't be so clever. This is a different story. But this is much about how innovation works today and getting those different knots together.
Yeah. And it's been an 8-year journey. You've obviously learned a lot on the way and so on. If I ask you just to look to the future, what's next? Where would you like to climb? You've climbed this mountain of sustainability in a very impressive way, and that's clearly brought a new dimension. What's next? What's on your innovation horizon?
So the next thing will be, so we managed to, so we've got this internal innovation culture. So we can say that we ripped out this not invented here phenomenon. So what does it mean, not invented here? Means that people are restrictive towards ideas that do not come from themselves. This now enables us to do real open innovation, like taking a look around us, who's got cool ideas, and how can we build an innovation ecosystem? Because as I said, innovation is getting more complex. 30 disciplines at our side, and now new technologies coming. AI, 3D printing, cloud computing, clouds of cloud computing. So there are experts out there that could help us. And it's not that we internally have to build up everything all in once, but let us be open towards those ideas and maybe also roll out our platform to these, to get experts from our partner companies also involved here to challenge ideas. But, and I took this general strategy on purpose. I think this can only work if you manage an internal innovation culture that is open for such approaches. I frequently get asked by other innovation companies where to start, like internally or externally, like doing a big open innovation campaign. You ask your customers or whomever, and you get in 100 ideas. So the thing is, then, is your company really able to handle those innovation potentials? Are they open for taking them up, or do they think we know everything better? So I would always start first in building an innovation culture, and there are companies around there who already have that, or fine, and then open up your innovation processes towards others.
That sounds like very good advice and very, very relevant, since we have this phrase, the ecosystem approach, everywhere now. Ecosystems don't just happen, they have to be constructed. So very interesting. Sven, it's been fascinating. Can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
Basically, innovation management is a coming profession. There's even talk of, in the International Standards Organization, of a job description around it. You've clearly been on a journey, 8 years or more, learning it. If I asked you to be Uncle Sven for a moment, and perhaps give any advice to someone who might just be thinking of starting a career as an innovation manager, any advice that you might want to pass on?
Yes. In the past, my advice would always have been get out in the field, and you can only learn innovation management on the job while working with experienced innovation managers. I think that is really the core and the heart of it. Right? You have to get involved in innovation and to really understand what it is about, because I do not have a daily routine, because that can change any minute. So any minute, a highly relevant startup can call me to say we want to work with you, and then we have to react because their time cycles are way different than us. So get out there, get to know innovation managers, get in contact with them, and work with them and learn from them. But also, today we are happy enough that there's science around innovation. Innovation doesn't happen by by accident. There's a lot of good readings out there. Right? People like you who've spent years and years in trying to understand and doing research on innovation. And that is highly relevant, because if you deep dive into those topics, you will learn a lot of things, and then you don't make the mistakes I did 8 to 10 years ago. Right? And that is very important. So go out in the field, work with innovation managers, work in innovation. And the second thing is read the books on innovation. Read John's books, read Disruptive Innovation, read what Alex Osterwalder said about business models. All those clever guys and ladies that are out there, read this stuff to build a knowledge around innovation. What you have to bring along with is curiosity to learn and curiosity to work with people, because innovation is highly engaging, and working with a lot of different people. You have to like that, and then I trust you have a lot of fun there.
That's wonderful. Sven, thank you so much for sparing some time and some great insights. If people want to know more about Wilo, I think they can find your website, but thank you for sharing those things, and hopefully we can catch up on the next installment of the story a little while later. But for now, thank you again.
Thank you, John, for having me.